Executive Assistant Maggie Alex absent. Trustee Files.
Present.
Trustee Jones.
Present.
Trustee McGivern.
He will be late, but he
Yeah.
will be here.
Trustee Viota.
Present.
Trustee Carwheel.
Present.
Trustee Belakapitsky.
Present.
Attorney Legnard absent.
Could we have a motion to excuse the absentees?
I'll second.
I'll second it. Sorry, Joe.
That's it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We have nothing for public forum. Next is the approval of minutes from our regular meeting on November 18th. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any corrections? If not, could I make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is the police activity report. Could I have a motion to accept?
Make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is the fire department report. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is the approval of claims. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Hold
Aye.
on. Can I ask you a question?
Sure can.
I'm sorry. On the general fund?
Yep.
And I forgot to send somebody this. The infrastructure study on page 3, is that for Factory Town?
It's for the north end. So it would be.
Is it?
all of the
Yeah, because
north
then
end.
on the other page, it kind of.
Oh, CT mail?
Yeah.
That's for the water study.
Oh,
on
the
north
water
end.
study,
Yeah.
okay, thank you, I had a question,
Yeah.
that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, that's been going on for a while.
No, I know,
It's a
and
little slow.
I was like, that still can't be for that water study, so then I
Yeah.
thought it was for,
It is.
Factory Town, but it's not.
Nope, it's the water study.
Thank you.
Did we?
We did. Yep.
We did, okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Next is the submittal of the monthly report by the treasurer. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any questions? Anthony came right up front tonight to answer any questions. If not, could I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of adjustments to the water and sewer billing. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any questions? I think they're all routine. If not, could I have a motion to make the adjustments?
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is the submittal of the monthly report of the Parking Violation Bureau. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Church of the Good Shepherd. I was approached by the members of the Church of the Good Shepherd about, we used to plow behind there and we didn't do it anymore because there was a question about providing services to some place that without there being a mutual agreement. They have agreed to offer the church as an emergency shelter, which it is the emergency shelter for Heatley right now. So they've agreed to do that, so we're going to plow for them. But we explained they will be the last, everything else has to be done in Green Island before we go to do that. And we won't be responsible for moving any cars or anything like that. If they don't get the cars moved, then we can't, plow all the way around. So it's a good agreement, and it's a mutual agreement, and I know they're struggling over there a great deal. And but that church and the Legion are the only two places we have left in Green Island that has a sense of community. So we got to do everything we can do to keep both those places open. Does anyone have any questions? If not, could I have a motion to do a memorandum of understanding with the Church of the Good Shepherd about snow plowing?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? and it's carried. Next is consideration of awarding an RFQ for the provision of engineering services for the water department. There's a thing coming out in the newsletter this month. The New York State Department of Health has said that we are in violation of the way that we process our water. They're not saying it isn't safe, it's perfectly safe, but it's always been my understanding from the time I was a little girl that we have artesian wells underneath Center Island, and we do. And it's, so for decades, we've always treated the water as the health department in Albany County directed us to do it. Well, now they've come in and they've done different testing, and they said there's surface water that's getting in there somewhere. Surface water means water coming in from above and not in the artesian wells. We can't figure out what it is. I still disagree with them. I don't think they tested it properly, but you don't fight City Hall on something like that. So we have to make some tremendous changes in the treatment, the type of treatment that we do, which means everything's going to be overhauled in here. It's going to be a multi-million-dollar project. But the thing I want everybody to understand is our water is safe. They've tested it and tested it. We test it multiple times a day. We have no problem with our water. If we did have a problem with it, we have to shut it down and get our water from someplace else, like we did when the wells collapsed. And I think that may be where the problem came from. If you remember, I don't know if it's 10 years ago now.
Oh, it had to be longer, Ellen, because that the thing came right down and it went right over the artesian wells.
Yeah.
I think you're. I gotta say.
No, that was during my time.
No, I know it was during your time, but your father was still alive.
Yeah. Well, however long ago it was, we were on Cohoes Water for a year.
Yeah.
And but I don't know if either something wasn't done right or if I don't know. But
so are they
what
saying like, is it Hudson River water? I mean,
That's-
what did they? Oh, okay.
well, that's the only
That's
thing
the
that
only
could
thing,
infiltrate
right,
it.
right?
So yeah. But I don't know how that could happen unless there's a breach somewhere else. But when they tested this, they did not go to the wells to do it. They tested it when the water
at the
got over
plant?
here, which is not the proper way to test it. They should have gone into the individual wells and found out what was wrong. But that's neither here nor there. But we have to have a study done on this, an engineering study done on it, and it's going to be very expensive. Maggie she put out an RFP for it. She had a number of replies. She's narrowed it down to 3, and we're going to be doing interviews with the 3, and then we'll have to have the board approve what it is. But we're on deadlines for everything with this. So I don't think we'll have to, but we may have to call a special meeting if we do to meet the deadline for appointing an engineering firm. So that was the long answer. But the thing that we want to make clear to everyone is there is not anything wrong with our water. The health department has said it's fine. But the reason that they say it's surface water is there's different types of organisms that come in when it's surface water than when it's groundwater. But I still believe it's groundwater. But we got to do what they tell us to do. So we couldn't get the interviews done in time for tonight's meeting. So Maggie's still trying to schedule the interviews. So after we do that, we'll have to table this till next month, and we'll vote on it then. Does anybody have any questions? Because I don't know if I explained that very well. The bottom line is, if anybody asks you, our water is safe. So, next on the agenda is consideration of declaring the fire department's 2015 International Spartan engine as surplus. Chief, you want to make any comments on it?
It's a good truck. It served us well. It's just a little difficult to get around the streets, and we got the new truck, which gives us 3 right now, so getting rid of it's the best thing.
Okay. And hopefully with the grant that we got to get the new truck and what we can sell this truck for, it might be a wash, which would be really nice. because now they want to spend $10 million on a water plant. So could I have a motion to declare the engine surplus?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. We do not have a recap from Giblin DPW. Other business? I was hoping Gary would be here tonight because this is Gary's last meeting. Well, maybe last month will be his last meeting. But,
Missed his party.
yeah.
Tell him that.
Yeah. I really appreciate, especially at this time of year, I think you really think about things. I really appreciate all the years that Gary has given to our board. But I also appreciate every one of our employees, every one of our departments and their heads, everyone on all the boards that we have. Because we're really fortunate. We have a very unique community. I don't know of another one like it, where nobody ever says that's not my job when you ask them to do something, and we all back one another up. So I just want to say I'm very grateful for that. And if Gary finally does come, we'll holler surprise or something, I don't know. Just things to keep in mind. Swearing in for the recently and new elected village board members will be Saturday, December 28th at 11 a.m. at the community center. Please bring your families and friends. Our annual organizational meeting will be Monday, January 6th at 5 p.m. right here. Next month's meeting date will be on Tuesday because of Martin Luther King Day, so it will be Tuesday the 21st. And just so you know too, our newsletters are going out Wednesday, I think. We're having a serious problem with parking in the fire lane at the River Park. Very serious. The other night when the concert was going on at school, we had 7 people parked in the fire lane. And the one person who parked, the only person who parked legally, meant you couldn't get down the street with a bicycle, let alone a fire truck or a police car. I called down to the police station, they came up, and we ticketed every car. And they would have been towed also if it weren't for the fact that the concert was finally getting out, so we let them drive away. I don't know what else to do. We have signs that say fire lane. The curb is painted yellow. We actually had them paint in the roadway this year, so people couldn't say they didn't see it. I don't know what else to do.
Done as much as you can do. You put lights on it, blinking lights, but.
It's a serious issue. Because, I mean, we have some older folks that live up that way, and the chief will tell you, they're up there doing medical calls all the time. You couldn't get near their houses. It's a serious, serious thing. And I don't know what else to do other than post somebody up there and just ticket and tow them every time they do it. Now, we got a meeting with the school tomorrow. I'm gonna talk to Dr. K about it, but it's very serious. And I'm not gonna wait for a tragedy to happen to do it, so. You'll probably be reading about me on Facebook. Don't tell me, because I don't have Facebook. I think that's it.
Adjourn.
Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about? Now that I've depressed everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a text message from my cousin who happens to be a communicator for St. Basil's, and in their bulletin this week, there's an article published about our water. And I got a copy of it here if you'd like to read it. It's crazy, Ellen, it really is.
Well, I'm not buying into that.
Oh, okay.
If they want to call us and tell us something in person, whatever anybody wants to do on social media, I don't acknowledge.
No, this wasn't on social media. My cousin sent me a picture of the St. Basil's Church bulletin.
Okay.
And
But I'll read it afterwards,
Okay.
but I'm not putting anything like that
Nope.
into our
Okay.
records.
That's what we were just.
Because
going
no one
over.
has called the water department or the village office to inquire about any of this. They just hear something and they go crazy with it. And part of the problem over there is they're upset with us because we've been shutting off people, because the difference with the Maplewood customers that we have, in Green Island, if you don't pay your water bill, we can put a lien on your place, and
Yeah, we
it goes
talked
on your
about that
taxes.
last meeting.
We can't do that
No.
in Maplewood. And I'd like nothing better than to go out and meet with the supervisor and tell him to take back Maplewood, because it's nothing but a headache for us.
Yeah.
And,
Is that something that we could do,
yeah,
for them to take it back?
Colony would have to take it back.
Yeah.
I think we might just tell them we're not gonna do it anymore. They can have the infrastructure, it's
How
all
long have
theirs.
we been doing it? I mean, has it always been like that, or?
As long as I can remember.
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
And that was a favor done to them because they couldn't get the water to Maplewood. So, but no good deed goes unpunished,
Yep.
so, okay.
There was a thing I don't remember if it was on the community page the other night, or if it was just on Facebook, I don't know, somebody took a picture of something and it was in, they were complaining about, Green Island had parasites in their water. And they wanted to see if there was any truth to it. It's like, and I read some of the comments and people were saying if there was, the village would have gotten a hold of us right away, so. It's a scam, don't put
No,
anything in, but it's
The
out
thing
there,
is,
it's crazy.
there's organisms in all raw water.
Well, yeah.
We don't have organisms in our treated water.
Right.
So there's organisms in all water, no matter where you are.
Yes.
That's why you have to treat them.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but, and that's the only reason they have that information is because it's on our website.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're mandated to put anything out like that.
Right. Yep.
So if we're trying to hide something,
I
you know,
know.
I'm sorry, I get a little annoyed with
No,
social
it-
media.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Boy, we're having fun.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Gee, I was hoping Gary'd get here so we could holler surprise.
Right?